Hello, hello. My name is Miguel Johnson. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a sophomore from St. Joseph, Missouri, and I'm the founder of the first GSA in my county. And let me just say, oh my Lord, Julia Roberts is about to join me. So before GLSEN, I was basically still in the closet. It was obvious I wasn't a cis girl, but I was too afraid to say who I am. I was afraid of the obstacles that would come with being out in a school setting like mine, in a town like mine. My role in GLSEN's National Student Council gives me the courage to be myself no matter who I am or where I am. And since gaining that courage, I now have been able to help other LGBTQ students do the same and provide them with resources they didn't know existed. I've never been the one to fight the system. I was raised to be seen, not heard, and to succeed as a person of color in a country that often said that I could not. And now radical action is my favorite thing on the entire planet. For real, half of my school administration knows me as that queer kid who knows all their rights. Don't even try it. But it's not the power that I love. It's the confidence in knowing that I have an opportunity to make my school better for LGBTQ students and staff. Another person who is using their voice for good is joining us tonight. Julia Roberts has raised GLSEN's profile so much over the last 3 years. We kind of feel like she's adopted us all. First, Julia let us auction off a lunch with her. And you wouldn't believe how much money that raised. And then she did national interviews about GLSEN and its successful work. And for the last 3 years, she has become an honorary co-chair of this event. And every year she comes back asking what more she can do. Honorary guest, our guardian angel, Julia Roberts.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Reed, Bev, Will. Here I am, back again. I'm like a bad penny in this hotel. I just keep turning up. Miguel, my new pal, my wing person here, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so it is rare. Let's just be intimate, like no one else is going to talk about this, because that's what makes me feel better, that this isn't going to be talked about outside of this ballroom, because I rarely miss bedtime for my kids, and it is past their bedtime. And I rarely write things down, because a paper trail is a terrible thing. And I've only a couple of times done the presidential, fake I'm not reading thing, and I'm gonna fully be reading. Because I am so in love with Jess Cagle. Yeah. That I'm wearing pantyhose, and I'm out past my bedtime. These are some of the things that I didn't write down in my speech, but I'm just saying them. And now I'm touching the microphone, and I feel like Trump sniffing and doing... I don't want to be that person. Though I did hear on Good Morning America, that means you're territorial. So this is my space. I guess that's what that's saying. Okay, so I'm going to get to it, so I don't have to shake my legs twice during my speech. Ready? It is my pleasure every year to support GLSEN. I love this night. I told the kids backstage, you can be my witness. This is my third favorite night of the year. And 1 and 2, don't tell anybody. But one of the 3 might be my birthday, which is next Friday, and Thank you. If you wake up next Friday and think, what should I get Julia for her birthday? Then donate to GLSEN. That would be, it's like, that would fit me. I'm going to be 49, so $49 donation from everybody would be great. Thank you. So I'm so happy to be here to honor my friend Jess Cagle, who was just cringing, thinking, what the fuck is she going to say? It could be anything, really, and it might be. I've been in this business a long time, as this hotel can attest, and I've met, no, come on. I have met all kinds of people, so I know how rare it is for someone so committed and accomplished in a field to also be someone who happens to be the most friendly, charming, smart, adorable, kind, and fabulous as Jess Cagle. But in this case, with the man I have the distinct pleasure of honoring tonight, it is unparalleled. I first met Jess Cagle 87 years ago. Okay, well, it wasn't that long ago, but it was a really long time ago. And I think we met in the hair and makeup trailer. Is that correct, Jess? Yeah, okay. So he was working for Time magazine, and he had come to interview me. And I was so excited and nervous and beside myself, and he made me immediately comfortable, and we kind of became like instant friends. I didn't know that was possible with a reporter from Time magazine to be instant friends. He is a fair and considerate man. He's thoughtful and fun. These are not things you normally find in journalists. I mean, I'm just saying. He's had incredible influence at Time, Entertainment Weekly, and now People. In 1995, at EW, he spearheaded the magazine's Gay 90s cover package, spotlighting the growing influence of gay and lesbian artists in movies, TV, and music. And this was long before there were any gay characters on TV. Yeah, I mean, like, he was the guy. He made it happen. And on a weekly basis, he infused the magazine with a unique and witty gay sensibility that happily still exists today. More recently, after the horrific mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Jess featured photographs of all the victims on the cover of People. In that same issue, and this just knocks me out, he also published for the second time the phone numbers and contact information for all the 535 voting members of the United States House and Senate. Yeah. This was a real call to action, urging his readers to get involved in combating the nation's epidemic of gun violence. People also has a regular series called Finding Solutions to Gun Violence. I'm sorry, I've been so sick. Which profiles victims, loved ones, and people making a difference in this cause. I'm happy to say, thanks to Jess, People also has a recurring profile called Why I Care, which is incredible, Jess. I don't want to say it's the only part of People that I read. Let's just say it's my favorite part. And it included me and my involvement with this very organization, which I have to thank my friend Dave Carger for dragging me into this, not knowing how much joy it would bring me. So thank you, Dave Carger. He also annually, and this is, I mean, something that few people know, and I think really speaks to who he is. He annually stuffs the staff lounge ballot box with my name for the most beautiful issue. I truly admire this man, and Miguel and I are so honored to present GLSEN's Visionary Respect Award to the editorial director of People and Entertainment Weekly, this courageous and handsome man who I love, Jess Cagle. Come on up here.
Is that my award?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, Julia, that was very, very kind. It's surreal to sit there and watch Julia Roberts talk about you because besides being a friend, I'm also a fan. And the fact that it happened at the Beverly Wilshire just makes me a little bit more gay than when I walked in. I know, I also want to thank you for telling me that that first course was not fish, but cheese. That was good to know before. I know that your charitable endeavors are never done for PR. Most of them we never know about. And they are all based on her following her heart. And I'm so grateful for your support of GLSEN. I'm so proud that we have this common cause. And I want to thank Marcy for bringing us together. Both professionally and as friends, and I love our journey together. Now, Julia mentioned a lot of editorial initiatives with People and Entertainment Weekly. So I'm sharing this honor with my colleagues at Time Inc. at Table 29. Yes. As Chip Sullivan likes to remind me, I don't actually do any of the work. So Henry Goldblatt at EW, J.D. Heyman at People, all of you, you prove every day that you can be journalists and human beings and humanitarians. And you do it very, very well, and you do it all at the same time. And I am incredibly lucky to work with you, so thank you. And now I would like to talk about myself. I'm going to tell you a little personal story about why GLSEN is so incredibly important. I grew up in a little town in Texas, and when I was about 8 years old, I found this book in our house. It was called Take the High Road. Now, clearly my mom had bought this book. She had brought it home for my 2 teenage sisters. Take the High Road was a book, not much more than a pamphlet, about sex for Christian teens. And it told about how our bodies are changing and what's going, what is right and wrong about sex and all of that. Now, this little book, the reason I was interested in it was it also had illustrations. And this included drawings of the male and female reproductive organs, these little clinical drawings where everything was labeled. But to an already oversexed 8-year-old, this was like porn. And I could not stop looking at it, so I hid the book in the back of my closet, and I would get it out, and I would just look at those illustrations for hours and hours. Now, unfortunately, I also read some of that book, which warned Christian teens about homosexuals. The author wrote that sometimes homosexuals are referred to fairies and fruits. They are predators and they are dangerous. I read that part also over and over and over again because I knew, even at 8 years old, that somehow that applied to me. That was 43 years ago, and a lot of good stuff has happened. I'm getting awards from Julia Roberts. But I can still see those words, and I can still feel those words, and I will never forget them. If you are an LGBTQ kid, if you are a racial minority, a religious minority, and as we've been painfully reminded this past week, if you're a woman, there is no end to the bigotry and cultural discourse telling you that you are worthless or worse. We hold those messages with us long after we've grown up. We hold those messages with us long after we know better. On a personal level, those messages took a toll on me. There were years of alcohol abuse. There was a lot of romantic wreckage. I don't say that to feel sorry for myself because I was responsible for all of it. But it all starts for all of us who engage in any kind of self-destructive behavior with not feeling loved or worthy of love at some point. It all worked out. I got through it. I met Matt Whitney, who's right over there. So there's a happy ending. But I want to say this to the kids in the room, that hate-based speech and discrimination and violence, even violence, is really nothing more than someone saying, don't be different. Be like me. If you're like me, I won't discriminate you. I won't discriminate against you. If you're like me, I'll let you get married. If you're like me, I'll let you go to the bathroom. Well, the person saying that is an asshole, so don't be like them. The other problem is, no one ever succeeded by not being different. Look around the room. Look at Julia Roberts and Kate Hudson and Jeffrey Katzenberg and Connor Franta and Kevin Brockman. Lots of successful people in here were once told, I guarantee you, don't be different. They didn't listen, or at least they didn't let it stop them. No one ever succeeded by being just like everybody else. And this is why GLSEN is so important. Hats off to Eliza, everybody who works there, everyone who supports it, because GLSEN empowers LGBTQ youth to be themselves, and it helps them be the best version of themselves. And just as important, and I think this is just great, GLSEN tries to change the hearts and minds of those who would do those kids harm. When they go low, GLSEN goes high. It's not a new strategy, but I think it's a good one. And I hope it works. And that really is taking the high road. Thank you. Thank you, GLSEN.